In this video, I want to show you a neat, I guess you could call it a math hack for multiplying times 5. So in order for you to be able to do this video well, you need to know how to do multiplication, and in particular, you need to know how to do division by 2. So let's get started at this. Now, you might look at some of these examples and say these aren't really that tough. I mean, we already know what 8 times 5 is. But here is the math hack for multiplying times 5. What you're going to do is that you're going to take the number being multiplied times 5 and you're going to divide that by 2. So I give you an easy example here, 8 times 5. So half of 8 is 4, and then you add a 0 at the end of it. I mean, we already know that 8 times 5 is 40, so yeah, we're good. We'll look at 24 times 5. Take this number here and do half of 24. So half of 24 is 12, and add a 0 at the end. And you can see, if you go off to the side, you can see that 24 times 5 is 120. Well, how does this work? Why is this a trick, right? So I always like to show you how things work because math doesn't need to be a mystery. So what's really going on, one of the ways of looking at this is that we're doing 24 times 5, but I'm also adding that 0. Where's that 0 coming from, and where's the dividing by 2? Well, here's why. So I'm saying divide this by 2, really divide 24 by 2, but multiply by 2 as well. So when you see these pieces, these extra factors, the 2 over 2 is 1, so I'm really multiplying times 1, but I'm using them in a very specific way to make my life easy. Because what happens here is that we end up with kind of splitting this up into two parts by doing 25 divided by 2, which is where we're getting the 12 from, times, and you take this piece right here, the 5 times 2, and that becomes the 10. So you end up with half of 24, which is 12, times 10, and we know that to multiply times 10, the easy way is to just add a 0 at the end. And that's going to be the same case for all of these guys. If I take 38, and I do half of 38, and this is where you need to know how to divide by 2 rather quickly. Half of 38 is 19, and then there's the 0. And again, we are kind of off to the side doing 38 times 5. There's a couple of ways you can look at doing this. So I'm saying we're dividing this by 2, but then you have to multiply by 2 so that you're not introducing anything really new. And so you end up with the 19 times 10 to get the 190, because here's the 19, here is the 10. So you're just breaking it up into different pieces. Now here's another way to look at this, which is something we're going to look at in another video, is that you can take 38 times 5 and look at this in terms of factors, because 38 is 19 times 2, and then you have the times 5. Well, why would I split that up? Because any time that I've got a 2 times 5 where I can have a factor where there's a 0 at the end of it, it makes my life much easier, because this is 19 times 10, which gives me still 190. So this is why it works. Now let's take a look at this guy, 82 times 5. Well, I need to do half of 82, which is a fairly easy number to do, because half of 8 is 4, half of 2 is 1, and then we add a 0 to the end of it. There you go. Same can be said for 668. I need to do half of this guy. Now, I set this up to be kind of nice for you because each of the digits in 668 is even. So half of 6 is 3, half of 6 is 3, half of 8 is 4, and we add a 0 to the end of that. So 668 times 5 is 3,340. What about 17 times 5? See, this is where things get a little bit tricky. What do we do with 17? Because doing half of that is not so nice. Well, we're going to cover that in another video, so stick around.